How's it going, guys? Here we are with the Season 4 Week 3 Team Builder versus the Hamburg Happinys. For context, we are currently 2-0, and he is 1-1. Don't let those statistics fool you, though. His loss ended up being against probably the scariest team in this season by far. Those of you who know me know about my rivalry with Okan. He's clearly better than VGC at me, so this will be an uphill battle, but let's see what we can do. He's rocking a threatening Harsh Sunlight team with Torkoal and photosynthesis users like Fluttermane and Raging Bolt. Hisuian's Lilligant is a pretty scary Chlorophyll user, and Charizard adds to it with Solar Power. There's a little bit of anti-synergy with Empoleon, but obviously he's not going to be operating under the sun the entire time. But anyways, let's get into the team. First up, we have Arcanine. Arcanine's debut, ironically, is not as an Intimidate user, but rather as an attempt as a counter Sun abuser. I really would rather not Intimidate against the team with Teal Mask, Ogerpon, and Empoleon, and it seems to be much more effective as a Rockhead Pokemon this week. If I can get Stab Sun boosted Flare Blitzes off, that sounds great for me. Flare Blitz is pretty good into his team. His only resists are Charizard, Raging Bolt, Flygon, and Torkoal itself. Charizard and Torkoal basically drop to Head Smash. Torkoal, it's a 75% chance to one-hit KO if it's on max HP, max special attack. Max HP Raging Bolt is also 2-hit KO'd by Head Smash, but we have to be aware of Thunderclap, which deals 55 to 65% in the Harsh Sunlight. And a Photosynthesis boosted Thunderbolt is almost a one-hit KO on us, but the HP investment helps us live that. Flygon is overall the best defensive answer to Arcanine. Uninvested Flygon still, however, takes 43 to 52% from Head Smash, but it needs to invest quite heavily into bulk for Flare Blitz to not be a guaranteed 3-hit KO. But obviously it threatens the Ground-type move, which obliterates Arcanine. Terra Normal Extreme Speed is here because it's hard not to with an offensive set like this. This could have been Terra Ice, Terra Blast to hurt Flygon and Raging Bolt more, but he has a lot of speed that makes me want to run this instead. It's a 2-hit KO against Lilligant and most terrestrialized Fluttermane, and it's a roll to 2-hit KO Ogerpon, which is faster and can get a speed boost if it terrestrializes with Embody Aspect. Our speed investment lets us outspeed a timid Raging Bolt. Raging Bolt could technically outspeed us if it were Choice Scarf or speed boosting with Photosynthesis, but it would have to be Jolly in order to do that, and almost minimum special attack, which I really don't think it wants to do. And our health investment allows us to survive a max HP Final Gambit from Staraptor on 1 HP. And our remaining investment goes into attack, which allows us to one-hit KO most Fluttermane with Head Smash. It has to be max HP and a good amount of defense in order to survive, which isn't unheard of at all, but at least if it's fully offensive, we one-shot it for sure. And if the Harsh Sunlight is up and Flare Blitz one-shots... if the Harsh Sunlight is up, then Flare Blitz one-shots all but the most defensive Fluttermane. And we even live a special attack Photosynthesis boosted Shadow Ball as well, which is cool. Next up is Ribombee. So one thing I noticed about his team is that it's pretty weak to Fairy. He has 5 weaknesses in Lilligant, Flygon, Raging Bolt, Scrafty, and Sableye. And only 3 resistances in Charizard, Empoleon, and Torkoal. So it would be remiss of me not to bring my only Fairy-type Pokemon. Dazzling Gleam is our main offensive move if we want to click an attack. Obviously, Pollen Puff is good against Ogerpon, but generally I will be clicking Dazzling Gleam. Which is great because it's his only Follow Me user, so if I try and heal my ally and Ogerpon uses Follow Me, then it's going to be losing 78 to 93% of its health. Again, no Moonblast here because of potential Defiant on Ogerpon or Competitive on Empoleon. We have enough special attack investment such that a Dazzling Gleam is a 2-hit KO on max HP Flygon, which allows it to be a 2-hit KO against all the Fairy Weak Pokemon, except Raging Bolt. Max HP Raging Bolt takes only 36 to 44%. Raging Bolt is surprisingly bulky. I think I'm going to have a difficult time taking it down generally. The speed is here to outspeed Hisuian Lilligant, and the rest is put into its defenses. It's engineered to live 2 Jolly Chlorophyll Lilligant Solar Blades while maximizing the HP bulk, and that left 4 EVs left over, so I just threw them into special defense. Optimizing it like this Also lets me live a Thunderbolt from Raging Bolt without Photosynthesis boost. Tailwind lets Arcanine outspeed even a jolly terastallized Ogerpon, but Ogerpon is faster than Ribombee, so Tailwind has to go off first. Focus Sash is there because even though we made this kind of bulky, it's still a Ribombee against the Sun team. I'm expecting a lot of fire attacks to come my way, and I want to survive for more than one turn. It was a little bit difficult in the team builder because Ribombee, Manshao, and Gengar all wanted to run Focus Sash, but in the end I decided that Ribombee would be the one to get it. The rest of them just got berries to sort of help them out defensively. And Terra Dark is there to help against Sableye. Immunity to Prankster means it can't taunt us or quash us or any other annoying thing that it might want to do. Okay, next up is Titan. In a similar vein to Ribombee, he has quite a few ice weaknesses as well. I count 5 weaknesses in Lilligant, Staraptor, Raging Bolt, Ogerpon, and Flygon, and only 2 resistances in Torkoal and Empoleon. Titan is cool here with Trick Room support from Uxie, and it's also kind of solid under Tailwind support from Ribombee as well, which I'll kind of get into later. I'm a bit of a coward this week, unfortunately. I brought Ice Spinner instead of Icicle Crash. Icicle Crash is probably better here anyway, but there's a few knockout thresholds that I'm missing. But I am too scared of the accuracy. I pushed my luck a bit with all the Hydro Pumps and Draco Meteors week 1. I don't think I want to test it more. Superpower is good into things like Scrafty or Empoleon. I have to be careful with it though, because after I use Superpower, I'm basically useless. High Horsepower is good into Torkoal and Raging Bolt, and gives me a safer option into Scrafty. And lastly, Heavy Slam cleanly one-shots Fluttermane, and it's a solid 2-hit KO on Carbink. There's no point in one-shotting it, since it's basically guaranteed to be sturdy. We have enough speed to outspeed a timid Fluttermane if we're under Tailwind, while still letting us underspeed everything slower than Raging Bolt. Unfortunately, this means we'll be slower than Raging Bolt under the Trick Room, but I think it will be a minimum speed Raging Bolt anyway. I'd rather the flexibility in both Trick Room and Tailwind, but hopefully that doesn't make me worse in both. Enough attack to ensure we one-hit KO uninvested Ogerpon with Ice Spinner every time. Could have gone with Icicle Crash. Like I said, I don't feel like missing. Our defensive investment lets us live a close combat from Hisui and Lilligant while saving enough EVs for special defense in order to let a modest Photosynthesis boosted Raging Bolt Fluttermane only be a 33% chance to one-hit KO. We also live 2 Moonblasts from a weakly invested Photosynthesis boosted Fluttermane. And lastly, we are Terrifier because I really don't want to get burned by Sableye. Okay, next up is Mienshao. This is a fast offensive support Pokemon. No follow me this week, so it's pretty important that I utilize Fake Out well. As I said with Titan, close combat is good into things like Scrafty and Napoleon, and it kind of just hits a lot of his team, minus the ghosts. And Inner Focus is nice because it means we're immune to Intimidate from Scrafty and Staraptor. Upper Hand is cool because it stops Raging Bolt from using Thunderclap, which would otherwise be a pretty annoying move into us. We can outspeed it with Upper Hand and cause it to flinch so it can't get off its Thunderclap. And I think Wide Guard is pretty essential this week. He has Dazzling Gleam on Fluttermane and Eruption with Torkoal. I never mentioned this, but Lilligant and Torkoal is a pretty scary lead. Chlorophyll Lilligant after using you on Torkoal to cause its Charcoal boosted Eruptions to go first is pretty scary. This is one of my sort of measures into this. Also, another thing with the Wide Guard is it stops Snarls from Scrafty and Breaking Swipes from Flygon. And I think Raging Bolt can also learn Breaking Swipe, but I don't know if it'll run that. Enough HP with 4 special defense to live a minimally invested Dazzling Gleam from Fluttermane. Enough defense to live a Jolly Leaf Blade from Chlorophyll, Hisui, and Lilligant. Jolly Max Speed to Speed Tie with Hisui and Lilligant. And the rest in attack lets me one-hit KO Max HP Empoleon with Close Combat. We also have a 44% chance to one-hit KO Max HP Scrafty. And again, Terrifier for Will-O-Wisp immunity and resistance to Sunspam. Uxie is next. Initially, Slowking seemed pretty enticing as a partner for Titan because of Chilly Reception, or just the ability to use Snowscape in general. But I couldn't really reliably set Trick Room since Titan was Assault Vest, it couldn't protect. Uxie is cool because it offers Ally Switch as a form of misdirection, or redirection rather. This is useful because I'm not bringing Mousehold this week. Like I said, I don't have access to follow me. I'm trying to utilize his fairy weakness as best as I can here. Dazzling Gleam is pretty much the best offensive move you can slap on a support Yuxi. Anyway, to be honest, the utility of being a spread move is useful for just consistent chip and breaking focus sashes and stuff. The main idea here is to be a potential lead partner with Titan, just live hits, get off a Trick Room, and just let it do stuff. Then being really annoying with the combination of Helping Hand and Ally Switch. Very devious combination in my opinion. 68 speed lets us outspeed any Empoleon. Maybe that's useful if it's next to something that's weak to Fairy and we just want to pick it off with Dazzling Gleam. Max HP with 116 special defense and a Calm Nature to let us live 2 Photosynthesis boosted Raging Bolt Thunderbolts. It also lets us live all but one of a modest Specs Flutter Mane Shadow Balls, and the rest goes into defense to allow us to live 2 Solar Blades from Jolly Chlorophyll, Hisuian Liliant, and then there were 4 EVs left over, just threw them in special attack. And of course, Terra Dark, just like with Rabambi, it's there for Sableye immunity. And finally, Gengar, just an offensive Pokemon, just to round things out. This one is a much simpler EV spread because I just don't want to be outsped by Ogerpon, which we speed tie. I just want to hit, and I just want to hit as hard as possible. Simple as that. But yeah, very simple set. Shuttle Ball hits everything, barring Staraptor and Scrafty basically. And Sludge Bomb is solid too, outside of like Empoleon and Flygon. And Terra Fairy, Dazzling Gleam to go hard in on the Fairy offense and also remove my Ghost and Poison weaknesses. So yeah, that's pretty much the team. My main goal here was to just go super overboard with the prep to carry my poor battling skills because I feel like he's a much better battler in general than me. And also, I spent a lot of time this week on the train station, so I had a lot of time to carve out these EVs super carefully, really hoping that these benchmarks that I'm hitting are actually useful benchmarks to hit, because there have been times when I wasn't that good at EV optimization that I would aim for these benchmarks that are like kind of useless, but hopefully that's not happening here. I feel pretty good about most of these EVs, so I think I have some good prep going on, but yeah, we'll see. And that's about it. See you guys.